I'm going to talk about some very basic issues concerning the left hand. The first issue is the naturalness with which we place the left hand. This organic sweep of the arm through the wrist and up to the fingers is very important. Just something you can do quite naturally like that. In other words, if the wrist is leaning back, the fingers are going to struggle to play the notes. If, as we sometimes see, the hand is pushed forwards, we're going to have similar difficulties. No, the hand and the arm come together. Now, here's my violin, and I'm going to do that natural hand position. Now I have to just establish the height of the hand. In other words, that's going to be too high. The fingers aren't even going to reach the string. But if I go too low, then I'm going to struggle in a different kind of way. So I have to find out where is a good height, depending obviously on the size of my hand and the size of my fingers and the size of my thumb. A place where it feels comfortable. The thumb, if I take the fingers away for a moment, will probably be just peeping over the top of the fingerboard like that. Must never grasp the fingerboard, because that will create tension. Tension also between the thumb and the base of the first finger. That must always be round. So that even if all four fingers are together, playing, as it were, chromatic notes, there is still room here at the base of the fingers. So the tips can be together, but the base is never clamped shut like that. We can illustrate this by taking an apple. Here's my apple. And now my fingers can move quite independently, always from the base knuckle. The up and down movement of the finger, or the horizontal movement of the finger, the sliding along the string chromatically, all come from the base of the hand here. Here's the third finger, a little bit less independent, but still moving from that base knuckle. And here it is, sliding along the string. And the same for the second and for the first, the sliding along the string. So those basic finger actions can be practiced by holding something like an apple, so that you have that roundness that is needed. Now I'm going to take my violin and hold it as a guitar, because I'm going to put those four fingers together as if playing semitones, and I want to see what happens to the thumb. Now the function of the thumb is a negative one, not to interfere with the fingers. On the contrary, to arrange itself, to find its place, so that whatever the position of the fingers, they are not handicapped or stretched by a stubborn thumb. So I'm going to extend my first finger downwards, and immediately I feel a tension in my hand, and that tension can be dispensed with just by allowing the thumb to go where it feels most comfortable. I don't know where it should go, I just know it needs to be free. I'm going to extend the fourth finger, and again there is tension in my hand, but if I just let my thumb go, oh, it wants to be here now. So it's found its place. And whatever the position of the hand, which is constantly changing when I play, doing chords, going backwards and forwards, that kind of thing, the thumb will always be allowed to do its own thing and will always be free so that it doesn't inhibit the rest of the hand. Now, with the finger action, the vertical finger action, the question arises, how high should the finger rise? It needs to rise, because if it doesn't rise, it cannot fall. And if it doesn't fall, then I'm just going to be pressing down on the string. So it needs to rise in a free way. And we can say that the knuckle at the bottom of the finger will give us a guide to where the finger above it should rise when playing quarter notes, crotchets, like that. If I'm playing eighth notes, it can rise to the top of the nail. And if I'm playing faster notes, it can rise to just halfway up the nail. But the fingers always need to rise. That's quarter notes for the third finger, eighth notes, 16th notes. Second finger rising until the knuckle of the finger beneath it, and eighth notes just the nail, and 16th notes just halfway up the nail. So those are the very basics. In another video, I'm going to practice with you a very simple exercise of Ševčík, the first of his Book 1, Opus 1.